Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited. Twin Mustang introvert's dream fighter hits the market. SpaceX raises eyebrows with shot at regulation. Delta and Endeavor aircraft collide on Atlanta tarmac. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Twin Mustang introvert's dream fighter hits the market. While everyone enjoys a classic warbird, there's a certain kind of buyer who looks fondly at the Twin Mustang of yore, one of the USAF's last piston fighters to serve. Truthfully, the XP-82 isn't quite as simple as a conjoined Mustang, despite its looks. Originally designed to provide fighter coverage to long-range bomber sorties, the XP-82, later F-82 upon adoption, was born into the waning years of prop fighters. Surprisingly, the F-82 had a better career than one would expect, finding a niche as an all-weather patrol plane for the Air Defense Command before a stint fighting and scouting in Korea. Of course, as warbirds often go, this won't be a cheap purchase for anyone involved. It's an excellent restoration and an EAA AirVenture Grand Champion, with a historic nameplate and infamous design to boot. November 877 X-Ray Papa has about 25 hours on the till since its last overhaul. The aircraft sports a pretty true-to-vintage layout in the panel too, with most gauges retained. Only the essential radio, transponder, ADS-B, and GPS units have been added into the mix, so it's probably a good idea to add a suction cup mount for an EFB to the sale price too. The right seat enjoys many of the same control capabilities that the captain's chair does, but in true first officer fashion, the luxuries of 1944 are omitted. After the break, Batavia considers high-density housing near airport.
The legendary BD4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged four-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit surewings.com and bdaviation.com for more details.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/Rusty today for details.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Batavia considers high-density housing near airport. In a bold and highly controversial move that could redefine living in the fast lane, the Village of Batavia Zoning Committee is set to vote on a proposed zoning change that could allow nearly 800 new homes to be constructed right next to Claremont County Airport, home of Sporties. The vote, which will be held on September 17th, promises to be a game changer or a complete disaster. This development, the community voiced, could significantly damage existing infrastructure, safety, and quality of life for the community. It would also overcrowd both roads and school systems. GAO disses Pentagon's upcoming aircraft purchase. The Pentagon's plans to acquire a fleet of new OA-1K armed Overwatch aircraft are facing scrutiny following a recent report from the Government Accountability Office. The statement questions the U.S. Special Operations Command's approach to purchasing these aircraft and suggests a total reevaluation of the program. The report reads, quote, "It is essential that the Department of Defense act quickly to fully address GAO's open recommendations. Otherwise, it risks buying more aircraft than it needs," end quote. MTSU incident leads to temporary runway closure. An MTSU training exercise gone wrong ended with an aircraft veering into the grass. This led to a temporary runway closure at the Murfreesboro Municipal Airport in Tennessee. The plane is a part of MTSU's Department of Aerospace trainer fleet. They own and operate 45 aircraft, consisting of mostly Diamond DA-40s and Piper Seminoles. The university's program, though painfully overcrowded, is an approved Part 141 affair and is one of 16 partnered with Delta Propel. The incident involved one of MTSU's 5 Seminoles. It was practicing a simulated engine failure on takeoff and quickly ended up running off the runway. Republic of Iraq contracts for 12 Airbus helicopters. Airbus recently finalized a contract with the Republic of Iraq for 12 H-225M multi-role helicopters. The agreement, signed off in Baghdad by Iraqi Minister of Defense Tabet al-Abbasi and French Ambassador Patrick Durrell, will retire the command's older MIL Mi-17 choppers. The new rotorcraft are expected to assist the nation in counterterrorism, special operations, tactical troop transport, attack, ground fire support, medevac, and combat search and rescue. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. SpaceX raises eyebrows with shots at regulation. SpaceX expressed exasperation over the state of Flight 5, noting that, quote, Starship and Super Heavy vehicles for Flight 5 has been ready to launch since the first week of August, end quote. The Flight 5 test will include their, quote, most ambitious objective yet, attempt to return the Super Heavy booster to the launch site and catch it in midair, end quote. SpaceX doesn't quite move like the rest of Uncle Sam's usual contractors, carrying the get-it-done, mission-focused drive. So leaving everything paused as the courtiers shuffle documents between themselves leaves the team irritated and impatient. The tone of SpaceX's piece helped to drive in their point. Quote, it's understandable that such a unique operation would require additional time to analyze from a licensing perspective. Unfortunately, instead of focusing resources on critical safety analysis and collaborating on rational safeguards to protect both the public and the environment, the licensing process has been repeatedly derailed by issues ranging from the frivolous to the patently absurd. At times, these roadblocks have been driven by false and misleading reporting, built on bad faith hysterics from online detractors or special interest groups who have presented poorly constructed science as fact, end quote. After these messages, Delta and Endeavor aircraft collide on Atlanta tarmac.
For over 30 years, the massive Sport Plane Resource Guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital Sport Plane Resource Guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated, an even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
I think it's a very important thing to share the joy and love of flying. Our customers fly to remote places. They use our products to go places that are difficult to get to. Hertz has been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support, as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demands. And it is that shared experience and the joy of flying that brings us all back and charges all of our batteries up.
Welcome back. Delta and Endeavor aircraft collide on Atlanta tarmac. On September 10th, a Delta Airbus A350 and an Endeavor Bombardier CRJ900 were involved in a collision on the ground at Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta International Airport. The FAA reported that Delta Airlines Flight 295 was taxiing for departure when its wingtip struck the vertical stabilizer of Endeavor Air Flight 5526, which was stopped on a nearby taxiway. The collision occurred around 10:10 a.m. local time at the intersections of taxiways E and H on the North Airfield. Images shared on social media depict substantial damage, especially on the CRJ900's tail, where the vertical stabilizer seems to have been completely severed from the aircraft. WFTS meteorologist Jason Adams, a passenger on the Endeavor flight, stated on social media, quote, Well, that was terrifying. Taxiing out for the flight from Atlanta to Louisiana, another plane appears to have clipped the back of ours. Very jarring, metal scraping sounds, then loud bangs. We're fine, no fire or smoke, end quote. Delta Airlines later confirmed the damage to both the tail of the Endeavor regional jet and the wing of the Delta A350. Fortunately, no injuries were reported among Delta's 221 passengers or the 56 on board the Endeavor jet. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.